Call the Mandan Public Schools meeting to order. And boy, we're getting a ton of feedback. We'll call the Mandan Public Schools to order. It is 4 o'clock, the Bosch Fairlake Room. First item on the agenda is the pledge of the agenda. Please join me for that. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Is there anything on the agenda that anybody wants to change or add? Seeing none, could I get a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Rebenich, please call roll.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Next item is public communication. Anybody that wishes to address the board tonight? Seeing none, we'll move on to the next item, which is the administrator's report. Dr. Bitts, student presentation, and then we will move out of the way.
Correct. The first item is we have the Mandan FFA parliamentary procedure team, and we're going to invite them up, and they're going to do a little demonstration for us.
All right,
So
thank
at
you.
this time, we'll have them come up.
We'll switch places with you.
And as they're sitting down, I will just ask them that once they get up there before they start, that they tell us who they are and what grade they're in. And I will also remind them that there's a little green or little button that they have to put, the green light has to be on for it to work. So if you want to introduce yourselves first.
We are from the Mandan FFA chapter. My name is Emily Voigt. I currently serve as the president, and I'm a senior this year.
I serve as vice president, and my name is Brooklyn Miller, and I'm an 11th grader this year.
I'm George Stroh. I serve as the treasurer, and I am an 11th grader.
I'm Anna Van. I'm serving as the sentinel, and I'm an 11th grader this year.
I'm Ashlyn Kuntz. I'm currently serving as the chapter secretary, and I'm a senior this year.
I'm Kaylee Kuntz, and I serve as the chapter reporter, and I'm also a senior.
I'm Sheridan Ellingston, and I serve as a student advisor, and I'm a sophomore.
The meeting room will come to order. We are now holding a meeting of the Mandan FFA chapter. Madam Vice President, are all officers at their station?
I shall call the roll of officers, determine if they're at their stations, and report back to you, Madam President. The sentinel.
Stationed by the door.
Your duties there?
Through this door, past many friends of FFA, it is my duty to see that the door is open to our friends at all times and that they are welcome. I care for the meeting room and paraphernalia. I strive to keep the room comfortable and assist the president in maintaining order.
The reporter.
The reporter is stationed by the flag.
Why by the flag?
As the flag covers the United States of America, so I strive to inform the people in order that every man, woman, and child know that the FFA is a national organization that reaches from the state of Alaska to the Virgin Islands and from the state of Maine to Hawaii.
The treasurer.
Stationed at the Emma of Washington,
Your duties there?
I keep a record of receipts and disbursements just as Washington kept his farm accounts, carefully and accurately. I encourage thrift among the members and strive to build up our financial standing through savings and investments. George Washington was better able to serve his country because he was financially independent.
The secretary.
Stationed by the ear of corn,
Your duties there?
I keep an accurate record of all meetings and correspond with other secretaries wherever corn is grown and FFA members meet.
The student advisor.
Here by the owl.
Why by the owl?
The owl is a time-honored emblem of knowledge and wisdom. Being older than the rest of you, I'm asked to advise you from time to time as the need arises. I hope that my advice will always be based on true knowledge and ripened with wisdom. Madam Vice President, why do you keep a plow at your station?
The plow is a symbol of labor and tillage of the soil. Without labor, neither knowledge nor wisdom can accomplish much. My duties require me to sit at all times and direct in the work of our organization. I preside over meetings in the absence of our president, whose place is beneath the rising sun.
Why is the president so stationed?
The rising sun is a token of a new era in agriculture. If we follow the leadership of our president, we shall be led out of the darkness of selfishness and into the glorious sunlight of brotherhood and cooperation. Madam President, All officers are at their stations.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. The Secretary will call the roll of members.
We have numerous members and guests present. Madam President.
Thank you. FFA members, why are we here? To practice brotherhood, honor agricultural opportunities and responsibilities, and develop those qualities of leadership which an FFA member should possess. May we accomplish our purposes, I now declare this meeting of the Mandan FFA chapter duly open for the transaction of business or attention to any matter which may properly be presented. Madam Secretary, what is the first order of business?
New business.
Is there any new business?
Madam President,
Chair recognizes the Vice President.
I move that our chapter hold a car wash to raise money for the National FFA Convention on the first Saturday in September, charging $20 per vehicle.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that our chapter conduct a car wash to raise money for the National FFA Convention on the first Saturday in September, charging $20 per vehicle. Is there any discussion?
Madam President.
Chair recognizes the Vice President.
This is a great way for our members to show how happy they are to be going to the National Convention, and even though it can be spendy, we will be able to profit from this.
Madam President.
Chair recognizes the Sentinel.
This is a terrible idea. In September, we're already past that. We should have been planning ahead if we wanted this done. This needs to be failed.
Madam President.
Chair recognizes the reporter.
Looking at the POA, we recently had a 5K for FFA run, and that was a total flop, and we only charged $10 per runner, and we only made $60 in profit. This event is not worth the time for our chapter. I urge the Assembly to fail this motion.
Madam President.
Chair recognizes the Secretary.
I cannot lend my full support to this motion, for there's so many details that are not thought out. Where are we going to get the supplies, and where are we going to have this car wash? We need to fail this motion immediately.
Madam President,
Chair recognizes the Treasurer.
with the new said requirements for state convention, our members need the volunteer hours to be able to attend that. So this is a great way for the members to get those volunteer hours. So pass this motion.
Madam President,
Chair recognizes the Vice President.
as I went to National Convention this year, I had so much fun, and I really want all my other members to experience this as well. I believe that this is a great motion. Help me pass this.
Madam
President.
President.
Chair recognizes the Treasurer.
I move to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adjourn this meeting. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye. All those opposed?
No.
Motion passes. We're back discussing on the main motion. Is there any discussion?
Madam President.
Chair recognizes the Sentinel.
This is a terrible idea. Yes, they need volunteer hours, but we have so many other ones like Culliver's, Sharedite, and the tie blankets we just received. So those who already came already have most of their points they need for state convention. This needs to be failed.
Madam President,
Chair recognizes the reporter.
I move to refer this motion to a committee of 3 appointed by the chair with the power to act.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we refer this motion to a committee of 3 appointed by the chair with the power to act. Is there any discussion?
Madam President.
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
What type of vote does this get?
A referral gets a majority vote.
Thank you.
Is there any discussion?
Madam President.
Chair recognizes the reporter.
Seeing that the Assembly cannot see eye to eye on this motion, it would be better if we threw it on a committee so they can investigate it closer, giving us a more clear answer and a more clear plan to carry out this motion. Members, I urge you all to vote yes on this referral.
Madam President.
Chair recognizes the Secretary.
I do not agree with this referral at all, for it is the time of the year when our banquet's right around the corner, and we already have 5 new committees with all of our members on it to plan our banquet. We cannot have another one. Fail this committee.
Is there any discussion?
Madam President,
Chair recognizes the Secretary.
I move the previous question.
The previous question has been moved. I would like to remind the Assembly that the previous question does take a 2/3 vote. All those in favor of moving the previous question say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
No.
Motion passes. We're now discussing on the referral. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll now proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
No.
Motion passes. We're back to discussing on the main motion that our chapter conduct a car wash to raise money for the National FFA Convention on the first Saturday in September, charging $20 per vehicle. Is there any discussion?
Madam President,
Chair recognizes the Treasurer.
this would be a great way also because with how long a car takes to wash, we could have multiple shifts. So it ensures that all our members have an opportunity to get those volunteer hours. So pass this motion.
Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll now proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
No.
Motion passes or fails. Is there any other new business? Madam Secretary, do you have a record of any business which should now be transacted?
I have none, Madam President.
Does any member or guest know of any new or unfinished business which should properly come before this meeting? We are about to adjourn this meeting of the Mandan FFA chapter. As we mingle with others, let us be diligent in our labor, just in our dealings, courteous to everyone, and above all, honest and fair in the game of life. Fellow members and guests, join me in a salute to our flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I now declare this meeting adjourned.
Very well done. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We got to hold up their standards now, right?
Uh-oh.
All right, that's a great demonstration, and we don't follow everything that they did today, I'll tell you that, so they did a great job. Thank you very much for that. They walked out the door here. All right, let's move on. I know we got time limit today, so let's move on to the next thing. North Dakota School Board Association 2024 Negotiation Seminar and Election Training, February 1st and 2nd. Dr. Bitts?
Correct. If any of you are interested, it's not a negotiating year for us. That won't be until next year, but if anybody's interested in attending either the elections training or the negotiation seminar, let me know and we'll get you registered. Also want to just put a bug out there. The national conference is in New Orleans in early April. If you're interested, let me know as well, and we'll get a team sent down to New Orleans.
All right, thank you. We'll move on then to the consent agenda. On the consent agenda tonight, we have review and consider approval of previous board minutes, December 18th, 2023. Review and consider approval of November 2023 bills, the December 2023 bills, the December 2023 revenue report, the December 2023 expenditure report. Review and consider approval of the continuity of education plan. Review and consider approval of the second reading of the following policies: CD chain of command, CD-E chain of command chart, CE superintendent job description, CED appointment of superintendent, CEG superintendent professional development opportunities, CEI evaluation of superintendent, IHF graduation exercises, and IHF-R graduation requirements. What are the wishes of the board?
I would move to approve the consent agenda.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. We have a second. Ms. Rebenich, please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes. Moving on, we have no unfinished business. We'll move on to new business. Review and consider approval of the fiscal year 2022 school district audit. We'll move on with that. Mr. Legacy?
Yes, we have Linnell Usadas from Haga Comer here to present the fiscal year 22 audit. The draft was included in your packet, and the final version was emailed to you earlier today. I believe there was some highlighted items in the agenda which are pretty minimal that we had updated.
All right. Go ahead.
All right.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. We're happy to have this one done and off the books and eager to move on to the next year and get you guys caught up on track. So we did complete the June 30, 2022 audit. I'm really just going to give you the very biggest highlights. We issued a clean audit opinion. You can find that in the report, pages 2 to 4. We also did the federal audit because your funds are over $750,000, and we had no issues with that opinion on the schedule of federal awards. We had no compliance findings on how you handled the funds. In the financial statements, you'll find the first set of financial statements starting on pages 5 and 6, government-wide financial statements. These report all your capital assets, all your debt, including pension liabilities. This reports total assets of $145.4 million at the end of June 22. Total liabilities, $118.5 million. You increased your net position for the year about $22.4 million, primarily due to additional federal funding that was received, sale of some land, bond premium. Your fund financial statements, which is typically what you would see in your general financial statements you receive each month, these start on page 7. These do not include your capital assets, and they don't include long-term liabilities. They report everything by fund. If you look at this, you will see your net increase in all your governmental funds for the year, $56.2 million. That shows up on page 9, basically your income statement for your funds. Large increase there in your fund balance, $53 million, primarily due to proceeds of debt, proceeds from sale of land. This also reports you paid just about $3 million in principal last year. Interest paid $1.78 million. Capital outlay, about $14 million. A little over 11 of that was for the construction of new school. Way back to page 44, after all the financial statement notes, you have the general fund budget comparison. You came just in under budget on your general revenues, about $245,000 short, but you were also under budget on expenses, about $610,000. You'll find a full detail of your federal funding on page 47. And the very end of the report reports all our compliance, internal control requirements that are included there. We included the same findings basically as last year. We did not meet the federal audit deadline for 9 months after the fiscal year. Issues with bank reconciling, which I hear are almost so close to being cleaned up here. Just change in software at the beginning of the year and the prior transition. We always report limitations, segregation of duties, preparation of financial statements. As auditors, we do prepare your financial statements, and then we post journal entries during the audit. Biggest piece of that is, of course, due to pension issues and capitalizing and reclassifying debt payments. So that is our report. If you have specific questions, happy to answer them. If you look at the report and want more information, you're also welcome to call us at the office with any questions.
I do have one question.
Sure.
On the single audit here. It says the district can't be considered a low-risk auditee for the year 2023 because we're late and we're doing it.
Right.
What does that really, what effect does that really have?
Basically, really no effect, because the limitation, if you're a low-risk auditee, we have to audit 20% of your federal dollars. If you're high risk, we have to audit 40%. It basically falls under the same programs regardless, and your ESSER funding was so large, particularly in this year, that's the largest chunk of it.
I figured there wasn't a big change in
Yeah.
relation to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Nothing, huh? Nobody's got any? Well, I appreciate you coming in and taking 5 minutes to get this done, so thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate
All right,
it.
so we need approval of the fiscal year 2022 school district audit. What are the wishes of the board?
I'd make a motion to approve the audit report.
All right, do we have a second? Second. And we have a second. Any further discussions? Seeing none, please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Moving on, review and consider approval of the fiscal year 23 school district audit engagement letter. There was a copy of that also submitted, and if you want to go, Mr. Legacy.
Yeah, the audit engagement letter is just to give official notice to Haga-Comer to work on our fiscal year 23 audit. They have already started. We are hoping, I don't know if we're going to quite meet this deadline. I was talking to Linnell before. We really want to be done by March 31st so we can meet that federal deadline. It's going to be close. Some of those findings with our bank rec that she talked about in our audit, I think we've got those squared away. But at the same time, I would really like those 100% squared away before they dive in so we can get that finding cleaned off our books. But we do need approval to get them going, even though they've already started. So.
All right. Get all the other audit pieces done except that one if you need to. All right. What are the wishes of the board? Any questions before, or what are the wishes?
I'll move to approve the engagement letter with asking for forgiveness rather than permission.
All right.
Second.
We have a motion, second. Any further discussions? If not, Ms., please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Thank you very much for coming tonight and getting it done, and look forward to seeing you again here in a couple months. We'll move on to the next item, review and consider approval of the 2023-2024 school district strategic plan. Dr. Rederath.
Yes, you'll find the updated strategic plan in your packet. Just a couple things to note. You'll see on page 5 with the opening of Lakewood, just some shifting of enrollment numbers throughout our schools, which I think is just interesting to look at, where we're seeing pinch points and where we got some relief. Also on page 12 of it, you'll see that 10th grade is now included in our NWEA scores. That's something new this year that we've started doing 10th grade. So next year at our retreat, we can look at if that's something that we want to look at moving forward with goals of looking at those achievement numbers. And then 2 pages later on page 14, you'll see that we've achieved the 60% four-year graduation rate for our economically disadvantaged students, our EL students and our Native American students. So that is a good thing. I think we'll continue to push that number upwards, but that was something that I wanted to note. Other than that, a lot of it was just updating our test scores, updating some of the choice ready information so that it's current. And I will answer any questions if you have them now.
All right, any questions? All right, could we get a motion to accept the school district strategic plan?
I'd move to accept the district strategic plan.
All right, we have a motion. We have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? Thank you very much for putting this all together, and I know this goes down to all the different subcommittees, so thank you for that. Seeing none, please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Next item on the agenda is site access agreement with the city of Mandan and Stantec. Dr. Bitts.
Yeah, this goes back to that placemaking grant where they studied the high school site and went asked the community what they wanted to see there. The next step in that is they believe there's a grant that we potentially could qualify for. I think there's a chance that they might pair City Hall, the building we're in right now, as part of that grant. Which would help us remove some asbestos. They said there's up to $2 million to demo that site, but they need access to come in and look at it. This doesn't commit us to anything, but it allows Stantec and the city to come in to our site. They said they would give us notice, and I think it's certainly worth exploring a grant like this.
Dr. Bitts, just a question I had, and I kind of skimmed through it, but when they come in, are they also looking at the asbestos and stuff in the school, or is this only just soil related and that, because there's drilling?
It's everything,
and
yeah.
stuff? It's all of
It would be asbestos, the soil around it, yes. And they wouldn't come in unannounced. They would always let us know that they're going to be there and who's going to be there.
Well, we're going to need to know that anyway, so.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions on that?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
I just have one question. This this in no way puts the city in charge of demolition.
It does not. It's still our building.
Still going to fall.
Yep, it's still our building. We've had some internal conversations with the city about how that looks. I think the city has to write the application. I don't think that the school district can apply. So I think there's still some work to be done on that end and what that looks like. This is just preliminary, no cost to us. Just let them explore, all funded through that placemaking grant.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. That was just site access agreement. Do you need approval on that from us, or is that, okay, because it doesn't say.
Or I would like it. I don't think I do, but I would feel better.
Okay, I
having you
just
approve.
thought I'd ask. All right, what's the wishes of the board?
I move to approve site access agreement with City of Mandan and Stantec.
All right, we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
And we have a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, hearing none, please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Moving on, item E, review and consider approval of the following letters of resignation. Hannah Ayton, 7th grade science at Mandan Middle School. Did I say the name right?
You did. Sorry to see Mrs. Ayton leave. She is relocating with her husband, and we wish them the best.
All right, that happens. What are the wishes of the board? And this, before somebody makes a motion, this is at the end of the school year, though, right? Okay, so it's not during the school year, so she's not breaking contract? or
Correct.
nothing.
She's going
Just
to
wanna
finish the year, and they are going to move in June.
Okay, just want to make sure we had that, because otherwise we got a two-step process there. All right.
I would move to approve the letter of resignation of Hannah Ayton.
And thank her for her service to Mandan
Very
School.
much so.
All right, do we have a second?
I'll second, and I want to reiterate thanks, especially for giving us enough notice to really start looking for knowing what those openings will be.
Yep, does make a difference, doesn't it? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes, thank you. Thank you for all your years of service and wish you luck on your new endeavors. Moving on, review and consider approval of non-renewing teaching contracts for the remainder of the 23-24 school year. Dr. Bitts.
Correct. These are Kinley Bosch and Joseph Monosmith will be teaching for us for the rest of the year. Because the contract is issued after January 1st, it does not automatically renew like every other teacher. There's certainly a chance that they'll be hired back, and that will, but just so that you're aware of how that works.
All right.
And we would ask you to approve both these contracts.
Figured you did. All right. What are the wishes of the board?
I'd move to approve the non-renewing teaching contracts.
All right, we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Motion a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing them, please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Moving on, the next item is future meeting dates. January 22nd, Student Achievement, 5 p.m., Brave Center. January 31st, Heart River CTE Board, 5:30 p.m. at New Salem High School. February 5th, School Board, 5:30 p.m., City Hall. February 12th, Policy and Personnel, 5 p.m., Brave Center. February 20th, the School Board, 7 p.m. at City Hall. Any other meetings and agendas that we need to be aware of? Seeing none, meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everybody.